From protecting human rights to providing humanitarian relief, from boosting trade in the developing world, connecting people through technology, the United Nations in Geneva is one of the largest operations centers for the organization, second only to the headquarters in New York.
It's crucially important that we are here in Geneva. There are other humanitarian agencies here. It's a city in which we feel very much welcome.
First of all, Geneva is the humanitarian capital. You have all the major relief agencies and big NGOs.
The city is about development.
It's very helpful to be within a stone's throw of many of the organizations that we work with on a day-to-day basis.
More than 9,500 people work here in Geneva, including some of the world's top experts in disarmament, international law, healthcare, development, disaster relief. The breadth of the activities in Geneva of the United Nations is truly astounding, from responding to famine and conflict, human rights abuses, disease outbreaks, extreme weather conditions, and the latest developments of technology. We cover it all.
There can be no true reconciliation and forgiveness without justice.
We hold about 10,000 meetings every year at the Palais des Nations, attended by some 25,000 delegates, making it probably one of the busiest conference centers in the world. Among those meetings are the sessions of the Human Rights Council. The Council is tasked with promoting and protecting human rights and addressing serious situations of human rights violations. Geneva is also the home of the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights.
The Office of the High Commissioner works directly with governments. It works directly with civil society, NGOs, journalists, with anyone who's really working in the area of human rights. The bottom line basically is everyone should have equal rights, no matter whether they're male, female, whatever race they are, whatever country they come from, whatever continent. The fundamental human rights are the same for everyone.
Geneva is well known as the humanitarian capital of the world, helping some of our most vulnerable people. When a disaster or conflict strikes, the UN agencies based in Geneva are often among the first to respond on the ground.
OCHA is the coordinating body of all UN relief agencies and also the NGOs. We try to respond as efficiently as possible to any natural disaster or consequences of conflict in a country. First of all, we assess the needs, and then we provide this information about what the victims need: food, shelter, medicine, protection, education. And with this information, the humanitarian community is able to provide the adequate assistance.
UNHCR is the refugee agency. We exist because essentially we're a world in which there is conflict, a world in which conflicts produce refugees and displaced people. Our job is to try and help those people get the protection they need. Typically in an emergency you need to help very fast, and it's really basic help. It can be getting people tents to be in, it can be plastic sheeting, buckets, it can be the absolute basics of life.
Our work isn't just about responding to emergencies, it's also about taking care of every sector of society all year round.
WHO is all about improving and protecting people's health. We look at communicable diseases in general, we look at non-communicable diseases in general. We look at health through the life course, from before you were born till later in life, so healthy aging. We also look at developing health systems, so that the health systems in member states are better able to serve their people. And finally, what we call health security, which is all about the acute public health events, from disease outbreaks to natural disasters to events like Fukushima.
AIDS is one of the most challenging issues of our time, but we have a real opportunity to get ahead of the disease, to reach our vision of zero new infections, zero discrimination, and zero AIDS-related deaths. Only by working with all parts of society are we going to be able to affect real change. Everyone has a role in the AIDS response.
boosting trade in developing countries, making sure people get a fair deal in the workplace, encouraging sustainable development and economic growth are just some of the vital areas of work of the UN in Geneva.
We are the focal point in the United Nations system for developed and developing countries alike to address the issues of trade and development. And there are some related issues like investment, finance, technology, and sustainable development. UNCTAD really helps developing countries to overcome inequality, to work against poverty, and to provide opportunities for all. That's really the motto of UNCTAD.
We're helping member countries work together in areas such as transport, trade, environment, or energy. And the impact on people's life is that our norms, standards, and international agreements help improve the quality of daily life via, for instance, safer cars, cleaner air, fresh fruits and vegetables of better quality, or a protected environment.
What the ILO is all about is of giving people a voice, because very often democracy starts at the working place. If people can have a voice at their working place, if they can defend their rights, exercise their rights, be them employers or workers, then we have the foundation for democracy.
UN agencies here are at the forefront of the latest developments, driving the world forward in information and communication technology, weather, climate, and intellectual property.
ITU is the specialized agency of the United Nations dealing with information and communication technologies. ITU coordinates the global use of radio frequency spectrum, allocates orbital slots for satellites, establishes worldwide standards for state-of-the-art mobile technologies, high-definition television, satellite navigation systems, and at the same time meets the global challenges of our times, such as combating climate change. By connecting the world to information and knowledge, ITU helps empower people to meet their own development goals and aspirations.
Weather, climate and water has always impacted on people's daily lives, and it always will. We work via our members, who are the National Meteorological and Hydrological Services. They provide weather forecasts. They're responsible for issuing warnings in case of natural hazards such as cyclones, hurricanes, and increasingly our members are very, very much involved in monitoring, observing, researching the impact of climate change and how that will impact upon us in the future.
Creativity and innovation are at the heart of WIPO. Countries from around the world come to our organization to talk about intellectual property rights. These help artists and inventors to protect their work and get paid for them. This in turn encourages them to continue producing the films, the songs, the music, the devices, the machines, the gadgets that make our lives easier, more comfortable, and more fun. We in turn, as individuals and society as a whole, benefit from this creative endeavor.
From its offices in Geneva, the UN is changing the lives of millions of people around the world, advancing economic growth, helping lift people out of poverty, providing food and shelter to those most in need, combating disease and hunger, rebuilding lives that have been devastated by conflicts or natural disasters, and helping to build a peaceful future.